I've lived in Kalamazoo practically on my own since I was about 15 or so, and I've certainly been through a lot of experiences since then. The biggest expectation is trying to find a way to get out of homelessness and trying to find housing. I'd say that would really be the biggest challenge. When I first became homeless, that nobody cared. I felt like people could look at me and kind of easily disregard me. I can't say that anyone has ever treated me differently because of that. Like, I don't think I've necessarily shared that experience. Well, I don't want to say I face a whole lot that other people don't face, but with me being transgender, I definitely live a slightly different norm than most people. I definitely have to kind of like focus on my own like progression and who I'm trying to become, and kind of assuming a new mentality of I am doing this transitioning process. I'm actively changing, and I'm kind of like evaluating myself and coming to understand myself as I'm doing that. And the way I interact with people is going to change too. So I have to kind of be like anticipating this kind of thing and expecting the next big thing to come.
Homelessness is often seen as a personal failure, as something that happens to those who can't pull themselves together. But homelessness is far more complex. It's a consequence of failed systems, whether that's the housing market, mental health care, or the safety net that's supposed to catch people during hard times. One moment, you may have a place to call home. The next, you're on the streets with no idea where to turn. This individual's story is a heartbreaking reminder of how quickly someone can fall through the cracks. A lost job, an illness, a family breakdown. Any one of these can lead to a loss of housing. And once that happens, the path back to stability can feel almost impossible. The homeless are not just struggling for shelter. They're fighting for dignity, for safety, and a chance to rebuild their lives in a system that doesn't even seem to care. This is the reality for so many people living without a home.
I first experienced homelessness roughly about when I was 19 years old, and I definitely was in quite a disposition at the time. I effectively had to restart my life, so I had to figure out how to navigate that. And that was first when I came to the Kalamazoo Gospel Mission, and at that time I was sleeping there, and I had been working a job for about 2 years, and I had recently got promoted, but the combination of a falling out with my ex, and then at the exact same time as my promotion, and basically like a whole swirl of drama had my head spinning. My anxiety was getting worse. I was going through periods of not really sleeping or eating, and essentially my super wiry behavior was a contributing factor as to why I got fired after only working this promotion for maybe a month, if at all. So I entered a really deep depression. I mean, like, I got like wildly triggered. It was the sense of like the nature of the grander scheme of my situation with the legal system, where essentially I had been absconding on a bunch of warrants for a really long time. I was convinced that I had no idea what to do. I didn't have a backup plan. I couldn't find a job. Nobody wanted to hire me. I mean, I was trying really, really hard. I even tried to get unemployment, but they had denied me. My denial letter said that I was warned multiple times for unbecoming behavior towards my coworkers, and for that reason, I was being denied unemployment too. And that was just like a smack in the face. I was like, I'm already in this situation. It's not good. I'm trying my best, and this isn't working. So I tried my best to try to look for any type of housing assistance or rental assistance, and I just came up with dead ends. The funding for it just wasn't there, and I kept on looking for different programs or different means, but it just wasn't working, and I was really just wasting a lot of time. And the more time I was wasting, the more money I owed to my landlord. And at a certain point, it was 6 months later. I was definitely in quite a dark place, and some of my social workers and people who cared about me realized that. They brought me to the urgent care center, and they had me speak with their client navigators, and essentially they determined that I needed to be petitioned to the hospital. I didn't really know what to make of it. One morning, I'm making oatmeal, and the police just waltz right in, and they grab me and say, "We're taking you to the hospital." I I didn't have a great reaction to this. They brought me to the hospital and determined that I needed to be in the psych hospital. And that's what happened. Like, I definitely got put in the capacity situation where I had to get help. I had to reconcile with like myself and the situation I was in. And it definitely took some time. I was in the hospital for over a month. I'm smiling about it, but I had some serious issues to work through at this time. Mostly just the loss, the regret kind of thing. Like, as if I've already hadn't been through enough. Like, all the things that people I cared about gifted to me. As soon as I managed to come to grips with that, I decided to, enter being homeless and trying to figure out what was next. And of course, I have no idea what to expect, but I essentially had to place myself in the situation where me, a trans woman, I'm gonna live in this shelter. It definitely was a little abrupt for me in the sense that I didn't have anything. I only had the clothes that I was wearing when the police took me out of my place, and that was it. It really has truly been a journey of like literally nothing to something, like trying to build myself up from quite literally nothing. So that's essentially the story. I very much so appreciate the fact that the ministry with community decided to open an overnight shelter. I mean, that was like huge. That was like massive. When the Kalamazoo Gospel Mission changed their policies, I was actually sleeping in the building. Essentially, they're cutting their numbers in half and leaving a bunch of people like hung out to dry, like they're gonna be out in the cold. And then I ended up being among that number of people. So I had to go through an experience that I've never had to go through in my life, which was sleeping outside. And it eventually led to me sleeping in a tent. And after, I don't know how long I was doing this, but I managed to get through the experience until they opened this overnight shelter. And it required a lot of faith on my part because it wasn't a guarantee. I think they just really needed to make sure that they got their funding together. And I'm very glad that they did. And for that reason, I have somewhere to sleep now, and I'm not out in the cold. I'm somewhere safe. And I'm definitely very gracious for all the people who made that happen.
And we're good.